While the ceasefire agreement largely holds ahead of the next exchange of traumatized Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners on Saturday, some reflections on what 15 months of a devastating conflict has had on the lives of Gaza's children.
Children have been killed, starved, and frozen to death. They have been maimed, orphaned, separated from their family. Conservative estimates indicate that over 17,000 children are without their families in Gaza. Some died before their first breath, perishing with their mothers in childbirth. An estimated 150,000 pregnant women and new mothers are in desperate need of health services. Children have lost their schools and their education. Those with chronic illnesses have struggled to access the care they need, many unable to do so. Many have faced sexual violence. Girls who've endured the additional indignity of no menstrual care have been left exposed and vulnerable. 1 million children are in need of mental health and psychosocial support for depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts, according to UNICEF. A generation has been traumatized.
The Council, convening as the newly installed Special Coordinator for Middle East Peace, visited Gaza for the first time since the ceasefire took effect last weekend, where she met displaced families and visited a UNICEF-supported psychological support center for children affected by war.
I'm now at a UNICEF-run mental health facility. It's MHPSS. Children to play, to be together, but also to allow psychologists or specialized caretakers to see which children have suffered even more than every other child and need specialized and dedicated attention. But of course the trauma is collective across the ages, but I'm deeply impressed also by the work UNICEF is doing to really pick up all the pieces and try to be where they can all over Gaza with an important NGO called Tamer to really reach out, work from within the community and to try to build new routines for the children despite the near impossible conditions. Let's hope the ceasefire holds, that we can continue to bring in the humanitarian assistance that is so much needed, but also all the other goods that people come up to me and ask for.
The humanitarian chief with 3 asks for the Council to ensure that the ceasefire was maintained, that the Council ensure that international law was respected across the occupied Palestinian territories, including the protection of civilians, from access to life-saving aid to the release of those arbitrarily detained, and that member states ensure that humanitarian operations are well funded amid an over $4 billion flash appeal to reach 3 million people in Gaza and the West Bank in 2025.
Funding this appeal is essential to meet massive needs and to sustain the ceasefire. Mr. President, the children of Gaza are not collateral damage. They are as deserving as children everywhere of security, education, and hope. They tell us that the world was not there for them throughout this war. We must be there for them now.
The war has also left more than 11,000 people missing, corpses likely trapped under the mounds of rubble that represents Gaza today. So far, the ceasefire continues to hold. Israeli troops have withdrawn to the outskirts of Gaza, and Palestinians are able to return to their homes or what is left of them, often just mounds of destroyed or collapsed concrete. No fighting expected in Gaza for at least the first phase or 6 weeks of the agreement. Some 94 Israeli hostages remain in captivity, with the next exchange set for Saturday. And as the first phase unfolds, negotiations between the parties will at some point resume around the parameters for Phase 2 and Phase 3, a precarious situation at best, where nothing is certain except that this will be a painfully slow process, where so much can still go wrong. Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.